Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the business meeting of September 13th, 2021 to order. Item 1.02, the roll call. Ms. Widener, please.
Mr. Dorr?
Here.
Mrs. Evans-Brockett?
Here.
Dr. Hallis?
Here.
Dr. Kohler?
Here.
Mrs. Lofton? Here. Mrs. Mayers? Here. Mrs. Roberts?
Here.
Dr. Weston?
Here.
Ms. White?
Thank you. Item 1.03, will everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1.04 is the reading of the PVSD mission statement. The mission of the Perkiomen Valley School District is to cultivate an inclusive community of learners empowered to grow intellectually, socially, and emotionally. Item 1.05, I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 1.06, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of August 9th and September 8th, 2021. We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us on to item 1.07, which is a special recognition, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Kohler.
The Perkiomen Valley School District Board of Directors is proud to recognize the Skip Back Pharmacy and many local community members for their efforts to vaccinate individuals against COVID-19. The Fight COVID Task Force is a coalition of community members that were assembled through Skip Back Pharmacy in Schwenksville. They consist of medical professionals, parents, teachers, students, and senior citizens from around the area, led by the pharmacist, Dr. Mayank Amin, otherwise known as Dr. Mack. Two of the members here this evening representing the task force include Mrs. Courtney Marengo and Mrs. Stephanie Glover. The majority of task force volunteers come from the Perkiomen Valley School District. This group of citizens have dedicated thousands of volunteer hours planning and executing COVID-19 vaccinations to community members. They have worked collaboratively to coordinate clinics, promote public education, senior outreach, homebound patient outreach, supply drives, and numerous other tasks that have helped to improve the health and safety of our community. The results of the vaccination process have supported the return of students to on-site school, as well as assisted in reviving Montgomery County's economy. Skip Back Pharmacy alone administered over 47,000 vaccinations in the surrounding area through the efforts of the Fight COVID-19 Task Force. While the 300+ volunteers in the group are diverse in their race, gender, economic status, and educational background, all are committed to the common goal of meeting the health and safety needs of our community members and neighbors. We are proud of their hard work and example they have set for others. It truly takes a village, and Skip Back Pharmacy, along with the 300+ members of the Perkiomen Valley School District community comprising the task force, have clearly represented such a village. On behalf of the school district, we thank you for your service. And I believe Dr. Mack is not here, but Mrs. Marengo and Mrs. Glover, if you would come up and accept this recognition from behalf of the board.
Thank you very much.
Guys so much. Thank you.
Dr. Kohler.
Moving on to item 1.08, it's comments on any topic. Comments from the audience are accepted on any topic. We do have some procedures for public comment. We accept public comment from district residents and employees who wish to express opinions about any topic. Public comments may address the board in accordance with the law and board policy and procedures. Before presenting any comment, each speaker must state their name and municipality of residence within the district and/or the district building where they are employed. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. A timer will be shown on the Zoom screen to keep track of the 3-minute limit. Opportunity for public comments are included now and again at the closing section of the board agenda. No speaker will be permitted to comment more than once during the opening or closing sections. We'll maintain control of all meetings, and we may terminate a participant's comments when they are directed personally, abusive, or obscene, or when the time limit has been exceeded. The purpose of public participation is to allow the board the opportunity to hear feedback from community members. It is not designed for debate or discussion with the board. And finally, the Commonwealth is currently under a mask mandate, so if you approach the podium, you need to have your mask covering your mouth and your nose.
Hi, Edward McGuire, Perkiomen Township. I just want to see if something could be addressed from the last board meeting, possibly tonight. During the 4.01 section, the education update, there was an update on the performance scores for the standardized tests, and there was a really concerning data point in there that we didn't really dwell on or give context around, and I don't know if Mrs. Smith can address it maybe tonight or in the future. But on the 8th grade test scores, from year to year, there was a halving of the advanced scores and a doubling of the under basic scores. And that's a scary data point in context to the consistency of the previous scores. A lot of the other assessment scores seem pretty consistent, and you could probably talk about headwinds from COVID and remote learning, et cetera. But I think, if there's any additional context, or even I take educated speculation, but then more importantly, perhaps commentary on what might be done to remediate that change, because that's an alarming change, basically a flipping of what you want to see. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Heidi Brown. I stand before you as a representative of much more than just myself. I am a mother, I am a taxpayer, and I'm also an employee of this school district. I risk standing before you as a nominated and willing representative of many PVSD employees who are afraid to speak out publicly. They are afraid of retaliation from this district. They are afraid of speaking out against these local unions. They are afraid of being ostracized. They are afraid of being bullied. They are afraid of being segregated and discriminated against. They are afraid. They are just like many of our members of the community that continue to be ignored and disrespected. These mandates minimize. I stand here before you as a nominee. These mandates minimize our freedoms as U.S. citizens, and I can assure you that although it seems like staff leadership is representative of a whole, again, I can assure you it is not. Not one time was there a survey on how a member feels. Even if there was a survey, nobody truly believes that a survey is anonymous. Many staff members in the district would be dishonest on them or would not even fill them out at all. We do not support mandatory vaccines that the PVEA is trying to push. We do not support assurance testing. We are adults and can monitor ourselves. Why is our district focusing only on the unvaccinated when we all know that vaccinated people are getting sick, showing symptoms, and are being hospitalized? That is outright discrimination. The survival rate of COVID are between 99.97 to 99.5, and those over 70, 94.6. People should be in charge of their own health decisions and treated like adults and be treated with respect. Our school system has been taken over by political agendas and certainly do not practice what they preach. We are not embracing diversity. We are embracing segregation. We are not valuing the differences of opinion or thought. We are not teaching and leading others to be critical thinkers. We are teaching kids to be followers, to cower to bullies, to cower to authority, to not ask questions, to stay quiet and compliant. We, as adults, are not setting good example for the future, and we will create children who will become victims of predatory actions. That is why I'm standing here this evening, to let people know in this community, this board know, and let the school leadership know that we do not all support the divisiveness that you seem to take such pride in creating. Sadly, you have created a working environment that is not productive or conducive for student learning, where families feel marginalized, where employees feel silenced, where everyone's individual liberties and freedoms feel disrespected, all due to you and many others in this community looking for power, wanting control, and inflict their beliefs on others. Please let our family have our freedom of choice. Please let our staff have freedom of choice. Respect our community. Stop trying to
I need you to
control
wrap up your
everyone,
comments
how
now,
they
please.
live and think. All educators do not support PSEA and its biased rhetoric and the financial bullying that it has involved itself in.
Ma'am, your 3-minute time limit is up. I'm going to need you to take a seat.
Time for change. Vote for Saylor, Geddes, Ronan, Fountain for school board. No longer.
Thank you.
Excuse me, before proceeding, could I ask the two ladies in the audience to either put on a face covering pursuant to the Secretary of Health's order or remove themselves from the premises?
Pursuant to the Health Secretary's order, we have an exception.
We're not a threat to anyone. We are not sick. We are not a threat to anyone. We have the right to be here without a mask on.
You have the ability to participate virtually if you do not, if you're not, if you do not.
It's the same thing.
We have an
We're
exception.
entitled to be right
The
here.
board is going to take a recess until order is restored. Board members can come to the side office, please.
No, we're not going to, we talked to the guard out in the front, and we explained that we have an exception. No one's brought an exception with the district. Because the Health Secretary's orders do not require that. Well, the Health Secretary says that there are exceptions, and you do not need documentation. So there, I don't make the rules, I'm just following them. I know, I just follow the rules. I mean, I'm going by the Health Secretary, the governor appointed the Health Secretary. I did not make these rules, I'm only following them.
Asking you to leave in compliance with the district regulations. The meeting will not continue until you do so, or until you put a mask on.
We have every right to be here and represent our families
That's correct.
in the district, and we
If you wear a mask, then you can continue to stay. If not, you offer the option to watch.
we are not a direct threat to anyone. There's no reason for us to wear a mask.
I am wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask.
There we go. Okay, I'll put mine on too.
We're wearing our masks.
Our masks are on.
You got a majority here, so. If people understand the Health Secretary's orders.